Chocolate. A word that brings a smile to our faces, a treat that has been cherished for centuries. The word alone evokes a symphony of sweet indulgence, a moment of pure bliss that transcends age and culture. Yet, this beloved treat faces a bitter truth: climate change. The very essence of what makes chocolate so delightful is under siege. As temperatures rise, our chocolate dreams are literally melting away. The delicate balance required to grow cocoa beans is being disrupted. The very source of this delight, the cocoa bean, is under threat. Cocoa trees thrive in specific conditions, and those conditions are rapidly changing. This isn't a far-off dystopian tale, it's happening now. Farmers who have cultivated cocoa for generations are witnessing unprecedented changes. The effects are real, impacting farmers, economies, and our favorite chocolate bars. The livelihoods of millions are intertwined with the fate of the cocoa bean. Imagine a world with limited chocolate, a luxury only a few can afford. The shelves that once overflowed with a variety of chocolate treats could become barren. This is the future we face if we don't act. The anxiety among cocoa farmers is palpable as they struggle to adapt to the changing climate. We must understand the issue, the urgency, and our role in creating a sustainable future for chocolate. Sustainable farming practices and environmental activism are crucial. The time for indulgence is over, the time for action is now. Planting trees, supporting sustainable practices, and raising awareness are steps we can take. Chocolate is more than just a treat, it's a symbol of joy, culture, and tradition. Preserving it means preserving a part of our heritage. Communities around the world celebrate with chocolate, from festivals to family gatherings. Its loss would be felt deeply across cultures. Scientists are working tirelessly to find solutions, but they need our support. Understanding the data and the science behind climate change is essential. Education plays a vital role. Teaching the next generation about the importance of sustainability can make a lasting impact. Innovation in farming techniques and the use of technology can help mitigate some of the effects of climate change on cocoa production. Supporting fair trade and ethical chocolate brands ensures that farmers are paid fairly and can invest in sustainable practices. Global cooperation and strong climate policies are needed to address this crisis. Leaders must prioritize the environment in their agendas. Chocolate unites us in joy and celebration. By taking action now, we can ensure that future generations can continue to enjoy this beloved treat. Together we can create a future where chocolate thrives, where farmers prosper, and where the environment is protected. The journey to save chocolate is a journey to save our planet. Let's embark on this journey together. To understand the crisis, we must travel to West Africa, the heartland of cocoa production. Here, the lush landscapes are dotted with cocoa trees, their branches heavy with ripe pods. Ghana and Côte d'Ivoire, two of the world's largest producers, depend heavily on this crop. These nations are responsible for more than 60% of the global cocoa supply. Millions of farmers rely on cocoa for their livelihoods. For many, it is not just a job but a way of life, passed down through generations. Their work supplies the world with its chocolate cravings. From the beans they harvest to the chocolate bars we enjoy, their labor is the foundation of a multi-billion-dollar industry. However, this vital industry is in jeopardy. The once predictable weather patterns are now erratic, making it difficult for farmers to plan their harvests. Climate change is disrupting the delicate balance required for cocoa cultivation. The rising temperatures and unpredictable rainfall are not just inconveniences, they are existential threats to the cocoa farms. Rising temperatures, erratic rainfall, and extreme weather events are jeopardizing yields and threatening the livelihoods of millions. The once fertile lands are becoming barren and the cocoa trees are struggling to survive. The alarm bells are ringing and we must heed their warning. Farmers are gathering in community meetings, discussing the dire impacts of climate change on their crops and their futures. The future of chocolate and the well-being of those who grow it hang in the balance. Efforts are being made to adapt to these changes, with farmers planting more resilient cocoa varieties and employing new farming techniques to ensure that the next generation can continue this vital tradition. Cocoa trees are sensitive souls. They thrive in specific conditions: ample rainfall, humidity, and temperatures within a narrow range. Climate change is disrupting this delicate equilibrium. Temperatures in West Africa are rising at an alarming rate. The heat stresses the trees, reducing their productivity and making them more susceptible to diseases. Drought conditions further exacerbate the problem, drying out the land and hindering growth. The very environment that once nurtured cocoa is turning against it. This stark reality underscores the urgency of addressing climate change before it's too late. Gone are the days of predictable seasons. Climate change has ushered in an era of erratic weather patterns, wreaking havoc on cocoa production. Unseasonal rainfall, prolonged droughts, and extreme heat events are now commonplace. These unpredictable conditions disrupt the flowering and fruiting cycles of cocoa trees. Heavy rains wash away vital topsoil, leaving behind barren land. Prolonged droughts starve the trees of essential moisture, causing them to wither and die. The once reliable rhythm of cocoa farming is faltering, leaving farmers vulnerable and uncertain about their future. Section 5. Economic impacts: the price of change. The environmental consequences of climate change are deeply intertwined with economic realities. As cocoa yields decline, prices rise. This price volatility sends shockwaves through the global chocolate industry. Manufacturers face higher production costs, which are often passed on to consumers. The rising cost of chocolate could push this once affordable treat out of reach for many, particularly in developing countries. Moreover, the livelihoods of millions of cocoa farmers hang in the balance as their incomes are directly tied to yields and market prices. Section 6. Bitter harvest: diseases and pests thrive. Climate change not only stresses cocoa trees, but it also creates ideal breeding grounds for diseases and pests. Higher temperatures and humidity favor the spread of fungal diseases such as frosty pod rot and black pod rot, which can devastate entire plantations. Pests, like mirids and cocoa pod borers, also thrive in warmer conditions, causing further damage to crops. These combined threats pose a significant challenge to cocoa production, reducing yields and increasing the cost of pest and disease management for farmers. Section 7. Adapting to survive: farmers on the front lines. Faced with these daunting challenges, cocoa farmers are adapting their practices to survive. They are implementing water conservation techniques, such as rainwater harvesting and drip irrigation, to combat drought. Shade-grown cocoa, a traditional method that provides natural canopy cover, is gaining renewed importance for its ability to regulate temperature and humidity. Farmers are also diversifying their crops to reduce their reliance on cocoa and enhance their resilience to climate shocks. However, these adaptations require resources and support. Section 8. Consumer choices: the power of our plates. While farmers are on the front lines of climate adaptation, consumers also have a crucial role to play. By demanding sustainably sourced chocolate, we can incentivize ethical and environmentally responsible practices within the cocoa industry. Supporting companies that prioritize fair trade, agroforestry, and climate-smart agriculture can help create a more sustainable future for chocolate. Our choices as consumers have the power to influence change and shape a more equitable and sustainable chocolate industry. Section 9. A sweeter future: sustainable solutions for chocolate. Chocolate, a beloved treat enjoyed by millions around the world, faces significant challenges due to climate change and unsustainable farming practices. However, there is hope on the horizon. The future of chocolate may seem bleak, but it's not a lost cause. Climate change has led to unpredictable weather patterns, affecting cocoa yields and threatening the livelihoods of farmers. Yet, with innovative solutions and collective effort, we can turn the tide. By addressing climate change and supporting sustainable practices, we can ensure a sweeter future for all. Sustainable farming practices not only help in preserving the environment, but also improve the quality and yield of cocoa beans. Communities around the world are adopting these practices to secure their future. Investing in research and development of climate-resilient cocoa varieties is crucial. Scientists are working tirelessly to develop cocoa plants that can withstand extreme weather conditions, pests, and diseases. These resilient varieties promise to maintain cocoa production even in the face of climate adversity. Promoting agroforestry systems, which integrate trees with cocoa plants, can enhance biodiversity, sequester carbon, and provide additional income streams for farmers. Agroforestry not only benefits the environment by reducing carbon footprints, but also supports farmers by diversifying their sources of income, making them less vulnerable to market fluctuations. Empowering farmers with the knowledge, resources, and training to adapt to climate change is essential. Workshops and training sessions equip farmers with the latest techniques in sustainable farming, ensuring they can continue to produce high-quality cocoa while protecting their land and livelihoods. By working together, we can create a more sustainable and delicious future for chocolate. Collaboration between farmers, scientists, and consumers is key. When we support sustainable chocolate, we are not just enjoying a treat. We are contributing to a global effort to protect our planet and ensure that future generations can also savor the sweetness of chocolate.